Welcome back to Need for Speed, where I tell you obscure facts about the cars we're driving. Today we have the Ford Focus ZX3. You can see it right there in the corner, and it basically means that it's a three-door Ford Focus. And we're about to break down the information into 5 groups, starting from from beginner all the way to elite knowledge. But before we do that, I believe we have a couple performance upgrades. Look at this. We got a tier 2 exhaust package. Let's put it straight in. What else can we put? Pro performance for the something. What was it? Drivetrain package. Interesting. Actually, we get a little bit less acceleration, but more top speed with the lower levels. Well, good thing we got tires, which is going to give us better handling. Let's get some Toyo tires. What about ECU? We don't have that. Everything else seems locked, right? All right. So we have the gorgeous Ford Focus. This is the first generation from 2003. And so let's get into it with beginner knowledge. Lap knockout. That's perfect. So as we said, this was the beginning of a new era for Ford, especially this replaced the Ford Escort as the budget car, and it's what they mainly use to spear into the European market. The ZX3 lineup means it has 3 doors, but there's also an LX version, which is a very bare bones ones, with a more basic engine, which produced 110 horsepower. There was the SE, which was another one that initially started with 110 horsepower, and then it upgraded to 130. What else? We also had, hold on. I believe that was the upgrade came in 2003 for the SE version. Oh, this, you know what? This car kind of has some power. I like the way it handles. It's a little bit on rails, but it's not a bad thing. There's a ZTS version, which was a luxury style. There was quite a bit of cool stuff that came from this lineup. Now, of course, there were the 5-door, which were the ZX5. Which all had, I believe, a base 130 horsepower engine because the 5-door were a little bit bigger and they need that extra energy to push the car around. Oh, right, a nice Dodge. So of the 3-door version, so the ZX3, we had 4 trim models, but really it was only 2. So we had the base model, the premium, which I believe might have like air conditioning, and then there was like a premium plus kind of thing. Like I don't remember the exact name, but basically not much was changed. Maybe added ABS, but basically they all came with a normal 130 horsepower engine, all the same suspensions, all the same stuff. So it was mainly like cosmetic, and you know, it was just cosmetic stuff. Then there was the SVT, which I believe stands for like something about like track. And that came with a 170 horsepower engine, so a lot more powerful. Special vehicle trim, that's what the SVT stood for. So a lot more powerful, a lot more horsepower, and that's, as you can imagine, the desirable version of this car's generation. But oh, that was so close. But yeah, this I mean, nothing to really be upset about with this one. Let's see if we can push up, because we're going to be able to avoid elimination here, but we got to catch up to the car in front if we want to win this knockout race. Let's see, we're 3 seconds back. I think there's some potential to make up some street, but yeah, now that we have the lineup, okay, I kind of messed that one up. Let's see if we can get the shortcut, or they do some stupid mistake. They might have done a dumb mistake actually, but let's see. They did not take the shortcut, so this could give us the win. So what do we have here? We have a 2.0 liter engine inline 4 Z-Tech E engine, which was pretty decent power, 130 horsepower at 5,300 RPM. Oh no, I gotta lock in. Hold on. We gotta lock in. Camera sight, Carfax. Okay, all right. Please. We're in front. We got a second ahead. Oh, we're doing it. We fucking nailed it. Holy shit. So the first generation ran from 2000 to 2007. But the generations get kind of funny because in Europe the second gen started in 2004 all the way to 2010, but in North America it was like they reunited into the in 2012, 2011, 2012. They reunited for a second generation. It was a little bit funky. And then in the third gen ended in 2018 for both Europe and America, where the three door version was essentially canceled. They got they got the rid of the three door Focus. Anyway, the torque is 183 newton per meter or 135 pounds per foot at 4,500 RPM. It comes with a 5-speed manual transmission, 4-speed automatic. It goes from 0 to 60 in roughly 8.5 seconds with a top speed which is very low at 104 miles per hour, 167 kilometers per hour. This might be the slowest really car that we had all this time. I cannot think of a slower top speed. Luckily we have upgrades here, but oh, that's too bad. I'm just gonna restart. There's no way. And with that, let's move on to level 2 novice knowledge. So the car is 4.27 meters long, 1.7 wide, and 1.43 meters tall. That's about 14 feet long, 5.6 feet wide, and 4.7 feet tall. So I would say among the shorter cars we've had so far in terms of length, everything else seems about average. The car also weighs 2,250 pounds, which is around 1,157 kilograms, and it has front wheel drive. So how is a car supposed to feel? Well, based on like the normal specs and not this modified version that of course we're playing with, the car is actually not, it doesn't have an insane top speed, and it's apparently a little bit slow in acceleration. So the part where it really shines is when it's already moving. When it's already moving, it's supposed to have an incredible handling at medium/higher speeds. It's supposed to be very easy, and I can confirm that the car does maneuver not as good as I'd hope, honestly. It doesn't maneuver as great as I thought it would, based on what's supposed to represent in the spec sheet. But pretty decent. I mean, the real life car was supposed to be a lot more agile of a car, because what else can it really have? It sucks off the start, it sucks on the top speed. What is your good trait? And it's supposedly the maneuverability. In fact, that's probably why it's a fairly successful car as a rally car, I imagine. Alright, I used my brakes, but damn, I did not expect it to completely lose everything. That is horrible. I wanted to just tap my brakes a little bit, and I guess it went for like the more aggressive braking, but that was unnecessary. Let's see if this side is a little bit easier to drive through. It does seem a little bit easier because we are going with the flow of traffic, but yeah, it's going alright actually. I might prefer that side. Ooh, I almost hit that thing right there. And we still have our full nitrous, so let's not forget that part. Oh my god, there was a shortcut if we went straight? I had no idea. Actually, this is the second time they take that shortcut and I keep forgetting about it. They don't really build up a ton of speed because they always end up behind us despite taking a shortcut. But I don't know what's up with that. It's confusing. Anyway, I think we're on time to move on to level 3 intermediate knowledge right before I kind of brake before cornering. Yeah, much better, much better. I was just like, I was a little bit too used to being able to brake whenever I want to, even in corners, but this car really needed us to brake in a straight line. So let's talk about intermediate knowledge. So the brakes, the front brakes are 2 vented disc brakes, so very decent, nothing to brag about, but pretty good. The rear ones are rear drum brakes, and they're not great. They're fine. They're just average. Nobody's bragging about those. The front suspension is a McPherson strut with anti-roll bars, so pretty decent. Nothing like it's the good option. And all right, we got some money. Let's continue. The rear suspension though is really good. It's a multi-link independent rear suspension with a control blade which gave each wheel independent ability to absorb bumps on the road. Let's go into the drift stuff, but let's go easy. And it's basically as good as it gets. Anything short of a double wishbone suspension. This is like even better than a McPherson in a lot of ways. Wheels is kinda a little bit kind of on the shitty side. I mean, it's a 14. They're 14-inch wheels, which it doesn't really need with this kind of suspension lineup. Like it, the 14-inch wheels do absorb a little bit more, but you don't really need that. You would normally want to trade that for a bigger wheel, and that's part of what actually comes in the premium version. Premium versions of this car did come with a little bit of an upgrade that gave you an option for either 15 or 16-inch wheels, which gives you a little bit more snappiness. Unfortunately, this one's like the normal option, and it's supposed to be the 14-inch wheels. I believe the game didn't recognize that, and they put in like a 17-incher on this car. It's fine. We're not breaking the realism. But yeah, so we got that information. And with that out of the way, why don't we start tackling level 4 advanced knowledge, which really focuses on the business aspect of a car. And I mean, the whole generation, the entirety of the Ford Focus Generation 1 sold around 500 to 600,000 cars in the United States in its 7-year run. Overall, the first generation sold about 5 million cars globally. Of these specific ZX3 version, which is the 3-door version, 300,000 were sold in the United States over that 7-year span, and about 1 million were sold globally. So, pretty successful run, a lot of sales, and the base model, the one we're driving right here, used to go for about $12,800, with the premium versions being around $14,000 and $15,000, and the SVT was actually $18,500. Today, these cars are worth about $3,000 to $5,000. I saw some on sale for about those prices, and if they're in really good condition, maybe you can start to think about something like a 10K, but it's a little bit hard. The SVT charges about a 50% premium over the base models. I saw it going for about 50% extra. So we got some cars, nice. I think we also got 9th in the rankings. That's pretty cool. But yeah, so I saw the model prices being up to 16,000 max. It's fine. Look at us. Top 9th in sprint, and 9th in drift. We're making our way up. Let's go back to the race menu. We got sprint and circuit. All right, pretty good. And so yeah, because the car was cheap, 300,000 were sold in the United States, but only 5,000 cars are alive in the United States today. That's basically like a 1 to 2% survival rate. Apparently, most of the cars that are still alive today are registered in states like California, Texas, Arizona, and the Pacific Northwest. I don't know why specifically those areas have all the XZ3s available, but I don't know. It's a bit odd. One interesting thing is that the SVT specifically did survive a lot better. About a 20% survival rate, because about that was so close. 14,000 were made, and about 2,000, 2,500 are still alive today. So pretty crazy. The fact out of like the whole million plus that were manufactured back in the day, it says that over the whole world, maybe 35,000 are still around. It's again 1 to 2% survival rate. Pretty disastrous, but hey, what you gonna do? I guess it was supposed to be a cheap car, and for a lot of people, it was just good enough to get them from point A to point B. Maybe it's because they drove like me that the cars did not survive that long. And oh my god, okay. So one interesting thing, I think this is a perfect time before I smash into some car and really ruin the race to get into, holy fuck, we're so bad. We're so bad. Let's go into the elite knowledge level 5. So This car shares some parts with the Aston Martin Vanquish because at the time Ford owned Aston Martin brand, and so basically the rear suspension, the multi-link uh, suspension was kind of like, I don't know, it was really good for the car. So what the engineers did was that they kind of like built up the system. I'm trying to chase that car, and we're kind of struggling. They basically like reinforced it, made it better, and essentially used that build for the Aston Martin Vanquish. So there's a bit of a connection there. One interesting thing is that in the very first years of this car, I think the car might have been like in the first 3 years, so from 2002 2003, there was an issue where if the steering wheel wasn't exactly placed where it was supposed to, the key would essentially be stuck in the ignition and you would not be able to like pull it out, which is an insane thing. All right. And people thought it was broken, but I don't know. It was apparently just shit building. Um, the Ford Focus is also probably the only car that's ever been recalled because of a bike and not because of the car itself. And I'll explain that a little bit better. So apparently some of the special models of this car, like they made special editions, and one of them was like this Kona version, which came like with a free mountain bike from, I guess, this Kona brand. And the car had to be recalled because the pedal on the bike was coming loose, so they recalled the whole car with the bike. That's insanity to me. Just give him a new bike, but whatever. Yeah, it came with like with a bike rack. It was supposed to be like the outdoorsy version of the car, I guess. And yeah, because the bike was kind of messed up, that we had to recall the whole ass car. Kind of insane, if you ask me. One other cool thing. Hold on. I'm trying to nail the corner, and this is also a dangerous part. So, oh boy. Oh, one thing that is because of the European. No, come on, don't lose it. We're still neck and neck. And you know what? They went narrow. We're gonna go wide after the bridge. I think there's like a little split. We're gonna see if the wide section is a little bit easier on our car. You know what if I can make this guy crash? I could make it crash. Anyway, so this car was tested in Europe since it was so massively popular abroad. Ooh, he got hit pretty bad. Sorry for him. And apparently because of the Autobahn, they were racing the car at very high speeds, testing its limits. And apparently like lots of hot air was going into the battery. So this car does, when it's kind of new, it comes with like a shield, a plastic shield for the battery, because too much hot air was getting in there, and apparently it was kind of killing batteries, or battery, what do you call it? Battery, whatever, I don't know, survival, age, whatever you want to call it. No, oh, you fucking assholes, they got me again. So yeah, that shit was good too. That was meant to survive. Make sure that the battery doesn't like degrade at insane rates. All right, let's do it again. They earned it, I guess. I kind of fucked it up at the end. And in the late 2003, the engine got an upgrade. So it went from a 2.0-liter 4 inline engine to a 2.3 liter engine. And that changed things a little bit for the car. They gave him a few more options. Not necessarily the car itself, but for enthusiasts, they realized that this engine was completely different, and that they could push they could push the engine a lot better. They could turbocharge it, all that stuff. And apparently, like, since it was like very well built, I guess, like it had like a solid cast instead of having holes, which is apparently it normally has. They were able to like turbocharge it, and that resulted in about them being able to modify the cars to kind of go all the way to. Oh boy, let's hope we kind of salvage this one. We were so far ahead, but maybe the shortcut's better than going the long way around. We'll see. They were able to like turbocharge the engine and all that stuff, and the cars could push up to 140 horsepower easy, up to well, it could go to 140 horsepower, and it could sustain up to 300 horsepower when modified. So apparently quite a powerful upgrade for enthusiasts who are willing to modify the cars. Let's see what I can do here. Okay, okay. First time I'm crossing a bridge while in first place. So yeah, that was the upgrade for the car. So what grade do I give the car? You know what? Let's race a little bit longer because there's some pros and cons. In some ways, this car is somewhat iconic. In other ways, I kind of hate how slow it is. Like, look at this, 127 miles per hour, 130. With other cars, we already reached 150, and they didn't have all the upgrades that this car has. I'm like a little bit disappointed right now. I'm like, I was expecting a little bit better. It's still good, but I'm feeling a little bit mixed. It definitely cannot go into the A category, right? Because like it doesn't have that insane speed, but the suspension game is quite good. All right, NOS it up, NOS it up. We need the power. Please, I beg you. We did it. We fucking did it. Like the suspensions are amazing. The engine's fine. The power is just fine. The top speed is horrible. Level 2 rims. Okay, we got some cool stuff going on. So, I mean, I don't want to give it a C. Absolutely not. It doesn't deserve a C. It's a car that did receive lots of love for what it was. But it's also not the best one, right? So I'm thinking we're going to stick this into B tier. Just solid B tier. Don't hate it. Are not in love with it. But just it belongs in a solid car. A good option. The fact that it didn't survive that long also kind of factors a little bit negatively to me. Like, I love a car that's able to survive. But you know what? The SVT models did survive in a much better rate, so it's probably related to the fact that like people who owned it probably took it for a cheap car and didn't take care of it the same way that the SVT people did. But yeah, we're gonna place this in the B tier. That's the end, and this is the last race we're gonna do today. 6 laps in this circuit. I believe we might go up in the rankings if we succeed here. Hopefully that's doable. I mean, we got 6 laps, and I don't know the degree of rubber banding that these games used to have. I think they don't really do strong rubber banding. I only say that based on the fact that there's been some races in which I've been getting destroyed, and these people are not slowing down for me. They will happily give me as big as a gap as they can get. So if we're good at this, we might be able to like sneak a very good advantage here and just run our way into first place. Unfortunately, damn, something happened by that last corner. Maybe they were able to carry that much more speed compared to us, but they really like took our 3-second advantage and turned it into 1. And now in this section, we managed to get a little bit better. It seems that cornering might help us. I'm not sure. I'm trying to figure out where we get why we're better. Here, of course, a shortcut helps us a ton. No doubt. I mean, we're getting hang time while going uphill. So we're pretty nuts there. But like, it must be the acceleration. It's just not that good, or top speed. I don't know why. Like, how are they that much faster than us at this stage in the game? Like at this stage of the track. How was he? Oh my god, he was so fast that he hit us with his car, with the back of his car. What the fuck was that? That was insane. You know what? The 4th place is safely out of contention. It's a Supra. Damn, they got Supras already? Oh my god. I'm not sure if I'm going to keep the Supra for last car, because in a way, it's a legendary vehicle. It's absolutely legendary, like that meme of like the guy yelling Supra. It's iconic. But I believe we also might have a Skyline, a Nissan Skyline. Those for me are the last 2 cars that I'm going to keep in contention for very last cars of the series. But the Supra definitely deserves a shout out. If not the last episode, it might be the second to last episode for us. But pretty good. You know what? We might. I don't remember what cars we have, but we might have some decent upgrades for the next race, actually, in terms of like cars and the kind of performance they bring to the table. So we're not gonna be limited by the Ford Focus power, I guess. Like they're gonna be like pretty decent power. Maybe we might have a V6. I haven't decided which one we're gonna race with. If you have an option, if you have an idea, absolutely let me know. Love to see it. Also love to see that they didn't put traffic in this race. 6 laps with traffic would have been a nightmare. It's interesting how like you see how the seconds like they kind of like, you know, there's space, but when the name shows up, the Impreza is written in all caps, while I think the Civic and the Supra are written like with like only the first letter capitalized. What's up with that? With the Impreza having Celtica, my bad. What's up with the Impreza being written in all caps? That's a little bit weird, right? I don't know. Is that a thing? Why is that a thing? Alright, let's see if we can get a good turn. That was just threading the needle. I was kind of proud of that one. Why the fuck? Damn. This is a Celtica. Huh. I don't want to stick like this because I think it's actually slowing me down. It was slowing me down. We were faster in the Celtica in that part of the track. I was mostly pushing it to see if I could let it crash, but I did not lose control. So, good on them, I guess. And for some reason here we're about to lose tons of speed compared to everybody else. And we're going at 100 miles per hour. Probably that's the issue, because once we're 100, we only go up to like maybe 120, and that's about it. We don't hit the 140s, 150s, and especially with no traffic, it's hurting us. It's hurting us quite a bit. Like 130, but I don't know. Ooh, that was surprisingly good. All right, let's stay in front. Oh, we're not staying in front. Where is it? It's on this side. You know, we're about to lose it in this section, so I don't even care. I'm just gonna... I don't really get... Maybe it's the suspension that's really the reason why we're driving in this section. Like, that car gets slapped down every time it goes in that fast section. I don't know. I was trying to wonder, like, what is the best cool car to buy? Because, I don't know. I have a cheap car, and I'm like, that car's gonna break down any day, any year. Like it's unlikely to survive very long based on the history of that transmission. Please don't hit me. Okay, it didn't hit me. Miracle. So I'm like, what if I bought a fun car? But buying a fun car means spending so much money, and I don't know. It might be something I'm into. Also, I don't know how much I want to get my hands dirty fixing the car. It's part of the fun, but also, ooh, we got Nismo Sentra. Interesting. Let's continue. Let's see the cars we unlocked. But I don't know. I've been considering it. Also, I saw some Maseratis, Gran Turismo. They have been going for Super Impreza. Have we driven the Impreza? I don't think so. Mitsubishi Lancer and Nissan 240 SX. Oh, damn. Okay, love the pop-up headlights. All right, things are looking nice. We'll see what car we do next time. But yeah, the Maserati Gran Turismo, they're kind of cheap in a way. They're like only, what is it? 14. This is a drag race. Let's do a drag race. Let's see if we can make it. I don't have super high hopes, but maybe the acceleration can carry us. I don't have super high hopes, but yeah, they've been going for like some of them less than 20K, $20,000 for like a Maserati, and it looks really good. All right. Alright, I think we're actually kind of doing well here in this. All right, I gotta move. Perfect. Keep it, keep it. Hold it. I don't think this is a tournament mode, so we just gotta win this one race. And it looks doable. Okay, just a little bit shimmy. A shimmy to the side. And we did it. Perfect. Beautiful time. 31 seconds. Might be one of the best. It's probably not the best time we ever had, but good shit. Nice. All right. So this is it for today. We had a lot of fun. Discord treated us well, treated us nice. I'm happy. Gorgeous stuff. I'll see y'all next time. Bye bye.